Hello and welcome back to the Aethercast Report. Today we're talking about the rise in the cost of video games and the things that might have contributed to that. And here with me are my panel of experts, Xander.
Yo!
He's not actually an expert. And also Chance.
I'm also underqualified to talk about this.
I think we all are, but I think we could feel the rising price of video games in our bones, which makes us qualified enough, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe Silk Song cost $20.
Yeah, ridiculous. Claire Obscure, only $40? That's too expensive.
Truly.
So, for real though, for a while, the price of video games, on average, like AAA games, were $60. And then with, I think near the tail end of the PS4, probably closer to the beginning of the PS5 era, is when it started going up to $70, right?
I think
right
so.
about that time.
So, what do you think is making that happen? Why suddenly increase it now?
Greed.
Greed. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to point to that as a reason. Honestly, I'm surprised the price of video games didn't go up sooner, personally.
Oh, me too. I was joking.
No, I know.
If I had to guess on that one, I would probably say that it was kind of waiting for a tipping point before they decided to rise up the price of games because they knew the public outcry would be relatively high. So I think after the whole situation with things getting a little more tougher to build in terms of the games being built, more stuff needs to be done with actually creating them.
Well, there's more that goes into developing a game now than there ever has been before. You got these really fantastic looking graphics, which takes a while to develop, also money. There's voice actors, which we're now getting big actors to be voice actors, like Charlie Cox, for example. That there's mocap that goes into it, which actually I think that might help make animating a little cheaper. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to really look into that. But just the cost of development is gone up because everything is getting more expensive, and also it's taking longer to make a game in general.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since a lot of games these days almost feels like they need to be like Hollywood blockbusters in order for them to actually be decent, which we all know is not the case, but it feels like almost every game is trying to be like, if it's a story game, it's definitely trying to be like some big over-the-top single-player experience.
Cinematic experience.
Yeah, cinematic experience.
Meanwhile, you have
go
Crimson Desert that's barely trying to have a story at all.
Oh, really?
I saw in one of the reviews that it was like originally meant to be like an MMO that just kind of got stripped down and turned into its own little thing. Do you know if there's any truth to that?
It feels like an MMO, but like a really good one.
It's made by the Black Desert Online people, so I'm not surprised by that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not just in regards to the cost of making it has gone up. I also feel like it has a lot to do with kind of the political undertones of everything that's been going on lately in terms of building these consoles and what it takes to run everything. Everything is just going up in pricing more. So naturally, gaming would start increasing prices, but I feel like as if they should have gone up a little bit sooner, maybe. If there's a pattern to follow with it, because I found a kind of a chart. I don't know how accurate this is, but I found a chart that kind of showcases what gaming prices look like between then and now, and it doesn't really account for inflation. And I feel like that's probably the biggest contributor at this point.
If you look at the chart, I'm pretty sure it's stagnant for like a majority of the time that gaming's been a thing, right?
Relatively, yeah. It's only in the recent years have prices kind of gone upward a little bit.
But when you adjust it for inflation, it's going to look like a downward slope.
For a long time.
And I sent you guys this chart in Discord. I don't know. Again, I don't know how accurate it is, but if it's like you're looking at $55 in like 1990s, it would have been adjusted for inflation at like $130. So you're right on. It would definitely be a downward spiral in terms of value.
And I think it's because gamers would push back in general about the increasing of the price of video games, and honestly, I can't really say that I blame them, simply because it's a hobby and everything else outside of our hobbies is already getting expensive enough. So if we can't afford these other things, and then the things that give us fun starts getting more expensive, then what are we going to do?
Yeah, because at that point, the price point's enough to where people are looking at it and be like, that's too expensive for me. I'm going to go on to something else. My thing is, though, is that has gaming really warranted these price increases? Like some games like Expedition 33 or Baldur's Gate, and stuff like that, I could truly see, paying a little extra because of the level of quality in there. But then you have like some of these live service games that look like it's just a cookie cutter of everything else. Do you believe that they should also have that price increase as well?
Most live service games are free
Yeah, that's true.
with monetization.
The thing about running a live service game is that the cost of keeping a server up is very expensive, and that's not even going into the cost it took to make the game in the first place. So when you have a game that's expensive to make and then also expensive to keep going, suddenly the extra cost of even a bad live service game starts to make a little bit of sense.
Okay.
But then you run the risk of, well, it's a bad game, so who's going to play it?
And that's why we've been seeing a kind of a trend of like live service games like being out for like maybe a couple of months and shutting down.
Yeah, that is a big trend, isn't it?
Yeah, between what was the latest one that only lasted like, what was that, like 20 some odd days or something like that?
High
yeah.
Guard.
Yeah, High Guard.
High
that's what
Guard,
it was.
yeah, the one that
Yeah.
Chef Keeley really put his weight behind.
But back to the whole pricing aspect, there's a lot of nuances of things that go into making the prices between, how much it takes to build the game, how much it takes to, hire, pay everybody who's worked on it, to, I hate to say it, but political situations going on in the country of origin and everything. It's just, there's a lot going into it to make that decision. And I feel like raising the prices is necessary after a while. So I can somewhat see that, but I feel like paying $100 for a game is asking a bit much, especially since it's one product.
So what you're saying is
So,
you're not going to get GTA 6.
You knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
I actually just looked something up because I was curious. Ocarina of Time, $60 game, 1998. You want to guess how much it's worth today? Just inflation, nothing else.
$200.
$119.30.
Sounds about right.
Expensive.
So we have been on the easy street for a while when it comes to game pricing. It's really just catching back up.
Yeah, and like the cost of making a game back then was a lot cheaper than it is now.
That is true. You want to know another fun fact that I looked up while you guys were talking?
What's that?
What's that?
You want to guess what the first game to be priced at $70 was?
Ooh, it's a Nintendo game, isn't it? Tears of the Kingdom.
Nope.
So it's not a
It's
Nintendo
much
game.
stupider.
Okay, hit me.
NBA 2K21.
That does not deserve to be $70. Are you fucking kidding me,
Absolutely not.
You mean the game that sits there recycles its gameplay over and over and over?
dude? Yeah,
Everything.
talking about making the cost of development cheaper. Just use the same stuff you
crossword.
did last game.
Yeah.
Call of Duty wouldn't know anything about that.
Man, at least Call of Duty looks like it puts effort in.
It depends on which game you're looking at.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm just a consumer. Okay, I don't know anything about the nuances of pricing and all that. So that's just my guess.
There was an article that I saw the other day that actually said lately lower priced games have been outperforming higher priced games by a significant margin.
I'm
Like
not
your
surprised.
Clair Obscurs, your Silk Song, those type of games, those price points have been doing much, much better.
You
Yeah,
mean
'cause-
games that were made out of labor of love and then are priced a little bit more reasonable for the average Joe is outperforming AAA games that are making you pay $80 to $100 for the same thing we've gotten in the past 10 years?
In general, yes. But I also
Who would have thought?
paid $70 for Crimson Desert, so
Oh yeah, no, I'm not against paying $70 for a game that's really good. But obviously, if I'm weighing my options, like if I can only get one game, and there's a game that costs $40 that looks like it has pretty good content versus a game that's $70 that looks like it has okay content, then yeah, obviously the $40 one is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree on that one because because of everything getting more pricey, people are having to be kind of more choosy on what they're willing to spend their money on. I could see why people would want to pay for something that looks a little bit more like more bang for their buck. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got fucking Nintendo over here introducing a concept called dynamic pricing. You know what that is?
Wait a second. Are you sure that was Nintendo? Because last I heard that was Sony.
I don't know anything about the Sony aspect of this story. I just know Nintendo.
Okay. Do you want to go first or should I?
I'll go ahead and describe what I'm talking about first.
All right, hit me.
Nintendo has talked about the pricing of their games, about what they feel like should be priced at a certain point. Like, for example, Mario Kart World is $80 because they feel like it's an $80 game. Donkey Kong Bonanza, same thing. I haven't really played either of them. I have Worlds, I don't have Bonanza, but I haven't played it enough to say if it's worth the $80. But then there's other games that'll be like, oh, it's only worth 70 or it's only worth 60. And those are going to be like more of the side games.
That sounds a little less greedy than what Sony's been doing.
Oh boy.
Okay, so dynamic pricing. There was a story that came out a little bit ago about two couples. One was a heavy gamer, the other one was a not so heavy gamer. They both looked up a game that was on sale at the same time on their respective consoles. The heavy gamer was discount was less than the not so consistent gamer. And it turns out that Sony has been experimenting with the idea of dynamic pricing to incentivize people to play more by giving less frequent players more of a discount on gaming. They actually showed photographs of this, and it was actually making its rounds on Reddit about a week ago.
It's kind of like a psychological tactic.
And the problem is the fact that that's, to me, feels like as if you're punishing people who are longtime gamers than the ones who are just like, I casually play.
Oh yeah, because like if you are already an avid gamer, you're more likely to purchase a game at the proper price point. Whereas if you're not, then you might be more tempted by a cheaper price. From a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. From an ethical standpoint, it's a little bit in the gray area.
Yeah, because it almost feels like as if you're slapping the face of people who are like loyal customers. Shouldn't you be getting more of a discount for showing that you are continuously purchasing and playing the games on your store rather than essentially being like, okay, you pay full price and you, who I've not seen before, you get like 90% off. That obviously that's an extreme example, but
it's practically free.
Now, I'm not opposed to dynamic pricing given, let's say, if it's a hot game, full price, but if it's like, a game that's like could use a bit of a resurgence, I could see them doing that, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of them just being like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and start giving different people different pricing based on how much you play, and it's the exact opposite of how you feel like it should work.
Now, my question to you is, would you pay $100 for a Quadruple-A game?
If you're talking about GTA 6, maybe, but I wouldn't pre-order it.
I would not pre-order it either. I would have to wait and see, and I probably would have to watch like 3 YouTubers play through it before I make my decision.
I don't know if GTA 6 is going to be considered a Quadruple-A game. So far, only one game has reached that status, and I don't know if that came out as $100.
Okay, now you got me curious. Has there been a game that's been labeled as Quadruple-A?
Self-described as, yeah. Skull and Bones.
You mean the frickin' Sea of Thieves knockoff?
I would say more of an Assassin's Creed Black Flag knockoff.
Yeah, it's closer to that, yeah. So the common characteristics of a Quadruple-A game are development costs that exceed $200 million, often over 5-year development lifecycle, large teams spread across multiple global studios, often designed with in-game economies and long-term support.
A full-price live service game is what we're saying.
Yeah, more or less, I guess.
Okay.
I heard that Skull and Bones wasn't that good. I don't know if it's gotten better, but I heard it came out and it was pretty bad.
Like the first video I see of Skull and Bones is literally somebody saying it's a scam. So
I remember seeing that announced. I think it was at E3. I remember seeing that announced, and I was like, "Oh, that game actually looks pretty good." But the idea for this game has changed like 2 or 3 times since that announcement. It went through development hell, and that's why it's a Quadruple-A game.
I guess so. Like maybe the freaking $2 billion budget wasn't because of the fact that they were putting that money into it. It was how long it was staying on life support. It was the tab.
It was $70 when it first came out, so definitely not 100. So that makes me think that GTA 6 could be a Quadruple-A game.
Maybe.
With how much money they made from GTA 5 Online, which I am part of the problem, I understand.
Same.
You absolutely are.
There's going to be a GTA 6 Online, and it will be considered live service. But it probably will, well, not probably, it's going to have a single-player campaign.
GTA 6 is the world's first Quintuple-A game, according to industry veterans.
Ah, thank you, industry veterans. Very cool.
Yeah, according to Devolver Digital's co-founder Nigel Lowry, he says that it's GTA 6 is the first quintuple-A game. So we somehow skipped the quadruple-A and went straight to quintuple with GTA 6.
To be fair, I don't think there's actually a standard for this, so they could be just making shit up as they go.
Oh, probably. They might be just taking the piss out of it.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why that Ubisoft was advertising Quadruple-A. It's just a marketing tactic to get people to buy the damn thing.
Well, yeah, it went through development hell for so long. They spent so much money on this game. They don't want it to fail. So they're like, oh, we'll just put a label on it that might make it seem more enticing. It's a Quadruple-A game.
Either that or let it bake in the oven until it's done.
Yeah, especially at Ubisoft, okay?
Wait, did we go back to Skull and Bones? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought we were talking about GTA 6 still.
We're bouncing between the two. Don't worry about that.
We're just kind of comparing what the expectations of GTA 6 is going to be versus what people were expecting of Skull and Bones at this point, and it's just like night and day at this point.
Yeah, letting it bake in the oven for a little bit longer is a very good analogy because Ubisoft games always come out very doughy in the middle.
Very. I still remember getting my pre-order of Assassin's Creed Unity. Oof.
Rockstar is not going to fuck up a game that's been hyped up this long.
No, the only times they ever really fucked up, I think, is with the remasters of the older GTA games.
Yeah, but I think that was done by a much smaller, subsequent studio rather than
not even
their
by
main
them.
team.
Yeah,
because they were mobile ports, right?
Okay, so the GTA Definitive Edition was actually based off of the mobile ports. Yes, because hell, even the original versions that you bought off of your PS4 or Xbox 360, those are still the mobile ports. The original coding, something about it getting lost or something like that, and that was the only one they had available. So that's the one they went with. That's why they only used that port. But what bothers me about the whole thing is that they wiped off the old games knowing full well that this was going to look like ass and placed the Definitive Edition on top of everything, saying it's just as good.
Yeah, no, that's awful. I have a question for you, too. Is there a game that you paid a full $70 for that you played through and was like, this was not worth $70?
I mean, the closest one I can think of that pops into my head quickly, I think would say, and this isn't even fully true, I bought Astrobot at full price because I wanted to see if it was worth it when the Game Awards were coming out, because everyone was just shitting on it because it won. So I was like, let me give it a fair shake and see if it's any good. And Astrobot is a very, very good game. It's just not for me. So I don't think I personally got my $70 worth, but it is very, very good.
But if you look at it objectively, would you say it's worth $70?
Yeah, the amount of work that was put into it was probably close to that.
Okay. For me personally, I tend to be kind of choosy with the games that I buy, so any game that I paid $70 for, I feel like I got the value out of.
Yeah, I'm very choosy about my kind of stuff too.
The most recent $70 games that I bought were Pokemon Legends EA and Pokopia.
Oh.
I really like those two. Pokopia especially.
You're allowed to. You are allowed to.
I don't know if I paid $60 for it, but I know I pulled full price for it. Was a game called Outriders.
What's that?
Your atypical cover-to-cover over-the-shoulder shooter. It felt like a watered-down Gears of War.
Oh, this is made by Square Enix, right? Or published by them at least?
Yeah, it was Square Enix. That's kind of one of the reasons why I felt kind of disappointed with it. It wasn't like a bad game by any means, but it definitely felt like it was not the level of quality I was expecting from Square Enix, given the fact that it was kind of in my high of Final Fantasy.
This screen that I'm seeing from the game looks just like Destiny.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It performed okay. It was all right, but it just felt like a cross between you're playing Gears of War. But did any of you guys play The Division?
Nope.
I played a little bit.
Okay, do you remember how the game felt? A lot of the enemies felt like bullet sponges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Think Gears of War, but the enemies were just bullet sponges, and the story was uninteresting. The enemies, they were trying to make them seem bigger than what they actually were. It didn't play very good for me. Now this could be that's just my opinion, but it wasn't like a bad game overall. But it just didn't live up to the level of hype that I was led to believe.
It looks like a more lame Destiny.
There's really not a whole lot of games that I paid full price for that I haven't, absolutely loved. Let's go through the list of games that I paid full price for. Persona 5 Royal, Nier Automata, Elden Ring, Monster Hunter Wilds. That one was a bit undercooked at launch. I guess that's a complaint I could give. Metaphor ReFantasio, absolute 9.5 out of 10. Expedition 33, 9.8 out of 10. Liza P was pretty good. I don't remember if I paid full price for it or not, though. Cyberpunk 2077, a little undercooked when it came out, but now a solid 9 out of 10 also. Stellar Blade. Oh my god. I keep telling people to play Stellar Blade and nobody does it.
I want to.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, people have kind of been told online about, the imagery of the game, and they just automatically be like, oh, well, you must be just perpetually horny.
That doesn't dissuade me. I still want to play it.
And be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, two things can be right at the same time.
You want to know what the best game I ever paid $70 for is?
What's that?
Factorio and Factorio Space Age. $35 game, $35 DLC.
Holy shit.
It is so good.
It cannot be worth that much.
It is.
I can't imagine.
I can say with 100% certainty, Factorio, if you get everything, is worth $70. I will say that with confidence, just so more people play Factorio.
I know neither of you have a Switch 2 yet, but if you do, especially Xander, get Pokopia. It's really good.
Oh, I'm begging to play that game at this point. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and so I didn't expect me to actually enjoy that game as much as I do. So seeing Pokopia definitely is scratching an itch in my head, and I'm just like, I want it.
Yeah, it's basically Pokemon Animal Crossing, but I actually like it more than Animal Crossing.
Well, I'll have to give it a shot.
Well, is there anything left to be said about the price on video games?
No.
Play Factorio.
Yep, play Factorio.
All I can say is that people just need to be a little bit more choosy with their products before they dive headfirst into a game just because it looks good.
Yeah. Play Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. You're going to get your money's worth from that. 100%.
Correct.
All right, well,
I planned that one.
Xander, you probably still can't find anywhere, is that right?
Nobody can find me. I am a lurker. And if you do, I won't respond.
Chance, you're still at Chance Music?
Yeah, click on the Ocarina of Time title theme. It's the only one worth watching.
Yeah, and I should have been doing these for the last couple of videos, but I'm going to do my very first call to action. If you like the Aethercast Report, please subscribe for more. And also give it a like. That'll let me know that you actually want to watch more of these. In the meantime, we'll catch you with whatever we talk about next. A goodbye.
Later.